Avatar Studios has done a terrible job informing everyone on what's happening with the future of the Avatar franchise. I see people online thinking that the live action is the only thing happening and the cartoon is never coming back. Some people seem to think Paramount's gonna make their own live action for some reason, and no one can tell the difference between a rumor and an official statement. I bet half the people watching this video think the Earth Avatar after Korra is officially confirmed by Avatar Studios. Honestly, I can't even blame anyone for thinking this either, because Avatar Studios has been practically radio silent outside of a couple of niche film events that no one even knows is happening. So that's why today I'm going to be setting the record straight and telling you guys what's actually happening with the franchise and giving you the entire yet confusing history of Avatar Studios, from its conception to official announcements to even rumors. I am going to be 100% clear with this, and by the end of the video, you'll hopefully have a good understanding of what's real and what's a rumor. So let's get into it. To fully tell the story of why animated Avatar is coming back, we need to start from the beginning of Netflix's Avatar live action, and trust me, it'll make sense in a little bit. September 18th, 2018, Netflix announced they will be recreating Avatar The Last Airbender in live action format with the original creators Mike and Brian at the helm, stating that production will begin in early 2019 with a full release sometime in 2020. From here, we only got tidbits of information and leaks, but nothing too major. However, you all know what would hit the world during this time, and production would slow down massively, with the show originally scheduled to come out in 2020, but when 2020 came around, they weren't even ready to begin casting anyone or really do anything. On May 15th, 2020, Avatar The Last Airbender was added to Netflix and would hit the #1 spot just a week later, and it would stay in the top 3 for over a month later, and even broke records for being on the top 10 list, the longest out of any show in history, lasting a total of 60 days, all while never being featured on the front page of Netflix to begin with. During those 60 days in June of 2020, the original creators ultimately decided to leave the live action production due to creative differences. With the explosion of Avatar and the original creators leaving the Netflix series, Paramount didn't waste a second and scooped them right up to form Avatar Studios, which was officially announced on February 24th, 2021. The formation of Avatar Studios would allow Mike and Brian to have a multi-tiered plan for the future of the Avatar franchise, allowing them to expand upon the unexplored past as well as the future of Avatar, stating that each project will feel like Avatar, but will have its own unique tone and look. With tons of enthusiasm on both sides, having the literal CEO informally stating that the first Avatar show will hit Paramount Plus within 2 years of Paramount Plus forming, which would have been 2023, so I guess we missed that one. And who knows if that specific show even exists anymore. The first formally confirmed project here was an original animated film set in the Avatar universe that would be released in theaters, with production starting later in 2021. Now, this is where things get extremely tricky and may just be the reason we haven't seen or heard many official updates about this exact movie. May 16th, 2022, AvatarNews leaks that an animated Avatar prequel movie was in development along with the Zuko movie as well, which further gained legitimacy because just a month later in June at the Annecy International Animation Film Festival, Avatar Studios announced that 3 movies were in development, and they even showed a teaser of the first movie, which only a handful of people in attendance were able to see. And sadly, no one recorded this or even took a picture. We only have statements, which was said to be a shot of something similar to General Fong's fortress with the text "The Avatar Returns" and an earthbending symbol. AvatarNews would go on to leak in the days following that a Kyoshi movie was set to release in 2024, along with a Zuko movie releasing in 2025, and finally a Korra movie releasing in 2026. This lined up almost perfectly with the teaser that was shown at the film festival, and the fact that AvatarNews reported that the new projects would be prequel a month prior. Everything looked to be smooth sailing from here until San Diego Comic-Con. On June 22nd of 2022, it was announced that the first movie will actually be about Aang and his friends, with AvatarNews then exclusively leaking that this will be set in a time period where Team Avatar are young adults. This would go on to be the last official announcement we've gotten about this movie up until now, but don't worry because things leak, and we even have a leaked image that we'll go over in a little bit. It really feels like the Kyoshi movie was set in stone and they were forced to scrap it or maybe move it forward and go with an Aang movie instead, because later that year Paramount would release their upcoming movie slate, and it would include a release date for the Gang movie, which would be October 10th, 10th, 2025, over an entire year away from the original Kyoshi movie's leaked estimate, which was 2024. A month after this, in December of 2022, AvatarNews would go on to leak Paramount's future plans for the Avatar franchise, stating that from the year 2025 onwards, there's going to be a new Avatar movie along with an animated series to follow it, and the first would be about the Avatar after Korra, releasing soon after the adult Aang movie. This made a lot of sense considering Paramount pretty much almost always follows their new movies with the series on Paramount Plus, and we've already had it confirmed by Paramount themselves that we'd be getting 3 Avatar movies, and at some point there was an informal mention of an Avatar series as well. Bringing the Avatar hype back with an adult Aang movie and following it with the Earth Avatar after Korra almost seemed like a no-brainer thinking back. The series would 100% perform way better if people were talking about Avatar again, and the only way to guarantee people would be talking about Avatar again is by releasing an adult Aang movie, which is something people have always wanted. This would gain even further legitimacy of being true because just over a week later, on January 1st of 2023, another leaker named My Time to Shine Hello confirmed something similar by saying this: "I got some Avatar The Last Airbender scoop. The next sequel show will have more of a cyberpunk setting and will have multiple energy benders and flying airbenders, so expect more Dragon Ball Z level fighting." With 2 extremely credible leakers stating similar things about the next Avatar series, it's very likely it's going to happen, but again, these are just leaks and they have not been officially confirmed. Finally, on April 28th, 2023, we got our first real update on the animated adult Aang movie, even though we weren't supposed to. This image of adult Team Avatar was revealed at CinemaCon to press only and was not meant to be used or seen as marketing for fans. But hilariously enough, some guy took a photo of the image and it was released to the world. No matter how hard Paramount tried to suppress this image, they couldn't. It just kept going viral. They even struck down my video covering it, but oddly released the strike just an hour later. This image does confirm AvatarNews' leak from earlier, stating that the movie would be about the gang as young adults. The only other eventful thing that came out of this was the official Avatar accounts finally confirming the release date set by Paramount on their social media. Great, so the adult Aang movie was confirmed and technically now has an image associated with it, but what about the Earth Avatar series? Well, that still has never been officially confirmed, but there is another thing that supports its existence. On December 14th, 2023, a job listing went up on Paramount's website for a CG generalist with a focus in FX for a 2D unannounced action series. Shout out to AirSpeed Prime for being the one to originally find this, by the way. Now, there are a few things in this job listing that have a lot of clues on why this has to be the next Avatar series. For starters, they state that this is an action adventure / fantasy series, and when you go into the qualifications, it says you need to be able to design and animate in an anime style. You go through every single Nickelodeon cartoon or every single Paramount show, you will not be able to find a pre-existing series that matches action, adventure, and anime that isn't Avatar. Normally, you'd be able to argue that this would be a new series and it doesn't have to be Avatar, but Paramount has already come out and said that they're only focused on their pre-existing IPs, because according to them, new IPs just aren't worth the financial risk anymore. Not to mention the style of this series and the job listing being a 2D hand-drawn with CG elements, just like Avatar and Korra are. It all just seems to line up perfectly with the latest leaks that we've already gotten. Avatar Studios launches their official website on January 1st of 2024. The website would be extremely basic. They have this bending quiz that decides your element based on the first question. They don't even have an About Us section or a news section or really anything good. They have an advertisement for a Yang Chan book and a Kyoshi book and Quest for Balance, and that's pretty much it. This brings me close to modern day. February 22nd, 2024, Netflix's Avatar live action is finally released. Although, to lukewarm reviews, the popularity was and still is insane, reaching over 21 million people on Netflix within the first 4 days and over 42 million people in the first 2 weeks. And according to Google search, the animated Avatar series is now being searched more than at any other time in history. That includes the original run, the 2010 movie, Korra, and the 2020 Netflix bump. So what is Paramount planning to do? Well, according to the description of an Avatar book on Edelweiss, they've revealed some of their marketing plans to capitalize on the live action hype. I will admit this is a weird place to reveal marketing plans, so take it with a small grain of salt. But it states, in Q1 of 2024, when Netflix releases its live action Avatar series, retailers will leverage their core and classic products, which will fit right into the plot lines of the Netflix series. This has seemed to start happening already, as I've seen tons of Avatar merch around, and Paramount themselves even did an Avatar merch drop today. It also states that in Q2 and Q3 of 2024, an In Your Element campaign will leverage in-world activations and social assets that will help to engage core Avatar fans. I have no idea what this could possibly even mean. It's worth mentioning that the stuff they listed prior in the marketing section, like Avatar World Animal Day and the merchandise stuff, that all ended up being accurate. So 2 updates just happened as I'm making this video. Netflix just confirmed that the live action series will not only be returning for a season 2, but also a season 3. And they did allude to the fact that they're going to be filming these seasons back to back. So it's not crazy to think that season 2 will come out in 2026 and season 3 will come out in 2027. The other update is that it seems an official Avatar product has finally mentioned the new Avatar series after Korra. Again, credit to the Go AirSpeed Prime for finding this. In the description of the new Reckoning of Roku novel, it states under Hot Series a bit about the live action, but then it says a new animated series from Avatar Studios featuring a brand new Earth Avatar is currently in production and is set to release in 2025, which will set the perfect landscape for the continuation of our series. So I was going to try to do a bunch of mental gymnastics and try to make sense of why the new Earth Avatar series was mentioned here and not the movie, but actually it just got deleted. So I guess take it as you will, whether this was put up early and they were told to take it down, or it just happened to be inaccurate. Your guess is as good as mine. I know Avatar Studios does oversee these listings in some capacity. To the extent of that, I'm not sure. Anyway, TLDR, here's what's confirmed to be real by Avatar Studios, and here's what that timeline looks like if you include the rumors.